Hello, and welcome to today's After Church Tea Time. My name is Deanna, and today I am joined by Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hello.
And today we will be discussing a beautiful sermon by Laurentiu and Alexandra, Expanding Unionism from the virtual to the physical. Awesome. So, Jenny, how are you feeling today? What were some of your insights and takeaways from today's sermon?
I love this topic today. Having a physical church and a physical meeting is so really beautiful and important to me. And it's also how I met this community as well. I found this work through a physical meetup in New Orleans, where I was living, is where I first heard of this work, where I first heard of Twin Flames, all of it. It was a meetup above a coffee shop.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it was great. And that also happened right around the time we're getting ready for the Toronto talk. So my introduction to this community was in person more than virtual. So having this all come back around and really that dream of grounding a permanent physical space it's just so near and dear to my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I was introduced to the community through virtual, and the first time I was able to meet other members of the community was in Sedona, and that was really nice. And yeah, similar to you, like I feel like grounding in the physical and expanding the community to the physical is going to be really great because I feel like we will get to develop a deeper sense of like trust among each other and like get to know each other in that physical setting because virtual is great, right? But it also has its limitations, and you don't really you don't really get to know a person on certain levels until you've kind of been able to feel them in the physical and just get to know them like outside, like what do you look like off camera, like and just like get to know and get comfortable with people in the physical. It's just I think we're taking it to a whole nother level, and I'm really excited about that.
Same. I know exactly what you mean. There's just so much more nuance of presence that you get in
Yeah.
person. And a lot of our online interactions are very specific, focus driven, with an exact purpose. And when you're in person, there's also this time to just simply connect and be. And so you get that idea of who each other is, who we are outside of that and beyond our specific purpose that we work on together. And so having both of those just really enriches the connection, enriches our being here in community, enriches the sense of it. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
belonging.
Yes, exactly. That's the word I was looking for, like a deeper sense of belonging. Because you feel like you get to know people better, right, in the physical. And so, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. And I also like where Laurentiu and Alexandra kind of talked about how each of us have our own piece to expanding unionism, and kind of contributing to this, what we're trying to manifest and bring into the physical, and how you don't have to really try too hard, right? You just have to bring yourself, bring your piece. And by you doing that, we all benefit from it, right? So I really like that part too.
Yeah, I do as well. And it really drives home that, that feeling that like your presence is important, your being who you are, and that you naturally get to be that and naturally contribute in the place that feels the best to you and the place that feels really good. And that's what I love about this community, because that is very much encouraged in that if you have a dream, then you get an opportunity or a place for you to try on that dream, to see what it feels like, to see what is it like to really work in this space. And it's just really a beautiful thing. And maybe you're like, oh, I'm not ready for this. And so you find somewhere else to shift. and somewhere else to go, or you're given the space that you need to figure out what is it that truly makes my heart sing? What is it that truly drives my passion? And I feel like that really also contributes to that sense of belonging, because you find your true place. You find a place that makes your heart, yeah, I just love it, makes your heart sing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you said, how you kind of touched on how we get to explore what we like and what our life purpose is. And I just think it's so fascinating how the church provides like so many opportunities and so many different avenues for us to explore what our life purpose is, and how it just fits so perfectly. It's almost, yeah, I mean, I guess it was by God's design,
Mhm.
right? That we all kind of came together and are coming together, and how each of our piece to the puzzle, so to speak, just kind of fits so perfectly. And like for me, and I think Alexandra touched on this as well, like how Jeff has said in the past that like your life leading up to your spiritual awakening, like everything that you've experienced and your interest and your career, all of that contributes to your life purpose and your mission. And me kind of seeing that, it's just kind of, I'm kind of in awe about it, because I'm like, oh, I can see how each step has brought me here, and how my piece is able to help like further the mission, so to speak. Like for me specifically, it's in business and finance and accounting. And it's crazy how like my unique skill set in tax and accounting fits so perfectly with what the Church of Union is doing, and what kind of skill set they need in that area. And so I'm like, oh wow, I guess this was kind of like a destiny thing. And like what they've been saying is like your piece is perfect. You just have to be yourself. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true for me. How about
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's true for me too, in a sense of like, well, for me, my background is uh, in database technology, IT, those kinds of things. And so I had a really, and this also touches on the place where how like the difference that it is out in the world, because I had a really hard time with the toxic corporate environment. And
Mm,
so I have spent a lot of my time through the spiritual process, really healing from that and recovering and recuperating from that to a place where I can go back into those skill sets from a more loving, peaceful perspective. And that's been such a huge piece for me. And just to be able to put those technology skills into action in my coaching business, my Ascension coaching business, has been the really kind of one of the first few steps for that. And for a while, I was volunteering in HR with the church as well. And so that also helped me heal some of those corporate past dynamics that, give me that sense of, okay, I can work in an environment again and have it be enjoyable and have it be fun, as opposed to going to work every day, having to get that coffee break to like leave the premises
mm,
just to get through the day and those kinds of things. I mean, it's just amazing what happens when you actually bring love into the things that you do, and you actually feel love in the things that you do and put your own heart into it, into something that you feel like is it stays with you. Because I poured my whole heart into my corporate career, and it just took and took and took from me. And I wasn't in a place where I could learn how to do that with such love that I've learned now since doing this work. And so that's been such a huge difference. And it's a huge teaching that we get to experience and live out in our volunteering.
yeah. Wow, I love that you shared that, because I had a similar experience working in corporate, and like experiencing burnout. And I'm still kind of learning how to let that energy go, kind of feeling like the only way I'm bringing value is if I'm like overworking myself. And things like that. But like you said, when you bring love into that space, it's it's so different than what you're used to in corporate. And it's kind of funny because there were so many parallels with my corporate career and my volunteer work in the Church of Union. And even like my boss in my old job, his name was Jeff. And so it's kind of funny. And I was doing similar work that I'm doing in the Church of Union, but it was kind of funny how they were kind of parallel, but you could definitely see the difference because in my work in the church, it feels so effortless. Like it's just easy versus in the corporate world, I feel like I have to like really really grind and work hard, and yes, I work hard with the Church of Union, but it's not a struggle. Like my unique like I guess my unique piece, my like skill set, I guess, is so it comes so naturally. And that's exactly what the Church of Union needs from me. It's just my natural piece. Versus on the other side, they'll kind of take and take and take and take as much as they can get, right? And so I'm learning that it's okay to just do what comes natural, and that's enough. Like that's perfect. And it doesn't have to be a struggle. So yeah, I just love that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I know one of the biggest lessons for me is learning how to put myself first and take care of myself first, because that's something that I did not do in my corporate life.
Mm.
So it's something that I'm even still learning now. It's like, okay, what do I need to do for myself first? You know, what boundaries do I need to set? What actions do I need to take before I go and do something else, right?
Yeah,
Really prioritizing, you know, really putting it in the unionist perspective of God, then yourself, then your twin flame, and then everyone else.
yeah. And
Mhm.
how like, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and just filling your own cup so that you can serve from this overflowing place, and so that you can actually provide more, and with more ease and more love and more just genuine, you know, just more genuine support.
Exactly. Yeah. And like for me, I'm learning that it's okay to do that, right? And I can still be productive and I can still be effective by putting myself first. And filling up my own cup, and that actually that's the way to do it, because I feel like in society and in corporate, or like you're kind of taught to fill everyone else's cup first, then yourself. But the teachings of unionism show us to fill our own cup up and allow our cup to overflow, right? Because it's really God, and kind of pointing to God as the source. And that's why I really love this, what we're working on of bringing unionism from the virtual to the physical, is because we'll get to like commune with people who are making similar choices as us, right? To put ourselves first, to do the healing work, to allow God to be our source. So we get to like commune with people who get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really powerful piece too. Like, yeah.
Mhm. I agree. Where we get to create these businesses and create these, you know, places to live that actually support these unionist principles and these unionist philosophies, this way of life, to
Yeah.
where we prioritize the inner work, and where everyone involved takes responsibility for our own feelings and our own healing. And so then when we come together, it's a lot more peaceful, a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun and healthy, healthy and loving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just kind of envisioning what the physical church will look like. And I think there's been some chat about it in the Discord about like just different ideas and how far we can take it and different activities. And yeah, it's just I feel like we're definitely leveling up. Um and it feels very possible and tangible and close, which is really exciting.
Is it's like, everything is possible with God and everything is possible with love. And we have such a, we are a community already, and our whole community is calling this in. Our whole community desires physical space in our hearts. And so it's with that kind of energy behind it and that kind of purpose and drive and just desire, like it's happening. It's already starting, it's already happening, and it absolutely will come into fruition because we are all dreaming it to be, and then we're all working towards that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that's like coming up for me is like with any sort of leveling up, there's probably gonna be upsets, right, that arise. And I think for me, there's a part of me that wants to, of course, move towards this. And then if I'm just kind of being honest with myself and just feeling my feelings, there's also that sense of uh maybe fear, I guess, of like leaving a comfort zone, right? Because I feel like we have this sort of comfort zone when we're communicating with each other virtually. And there's also a little bit more opportunity to kind of hide out, I guess. Right? And so when we're in the physical, it's a little harder to kind of hide, which is good, right? That all of this will kind of come to the surface for healing. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good healing experience for us, and what's on the other side of that is just gonna be so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, when we have this community of people who are doing the inner work and,
Yeah.
really fine tuning our connection to God and our connection with each other, we get these, you get more sensitive, you get more, in tune with what's going on with yourself and with each other. And so you really kind of come to this place where you just can't hide anyways.
Okay.
And then you come to this place where you don't want to,
Yeah.
because it's really beautiful when you see little physical manifestations of those connections, of that intuitive sensing and feeling, and it's just a really beautiful thing. And it's like, wow, I'm really known and really loved and like seen for me, and that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like imagine how this is going to impact like people's unions. I feel like by us being together in the physical, we're gonna see unions like faster and quicker because the healing is gonna be kind of like sped up, right? Because like you said, we're in the physical, and it's just a different kind of vibe when something like that happens. So I feel like yeah, we're gonna see a lot more harmonious unions. Like it's gonna positively impact people's lives in that way too, which is really cool
Oh,
to think
yeah.
about.
It's really fun. And because, energy is, this positive energy, it's catching, it's spreading, you feel it from each other. And when we all get together with a desire to heal, that desire like shows up, and we are faced with the things that we're afraid of, and we do trigger each other. And it's, but we're also there to help support each other in healing. So it really does speed up that healing process. It speeds up the purifying the consciousness when you're there in person and there for extended periods of time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah, Alex, Alexandra brought up a question in the sermon that I thought we could kind of reflect on.
Yeah.
So she said, she encouraged us to kind of just reflect on what each of us feels called to do, right? To contribute to expanding unionism to the physical. So as you kind of reflect on that, like, and I feel like we've talked about it a little bit already, but what do you feel is your piece? Like, what do you feel called to do in helping the church expand?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, it's really about grounding into my foundation and building my business so
Yeah.
that I can support through, um, spreading unionism in that way, spreading my love and loving people more and growing my business. So then I have more financial support to provide, more space in my time and volunteering to provide volunteer work and those kinds of things. And also really, I mean, to be honest too, it's getting really clear on what is my true desire for my purpose.
Mm.
Because right now I have so many things in my heart that I want to do from, my IT career that I know that's going to have to play a part of it in some way. But also I have these deep desires for the arts, for, photography and singing and writing and painting, all of these things, and like, well, where does that fit in? And then for, I'm a yoga teacher as well. And so I love giving those, yes, I love giving those Dharma talks at the beginning. They just like fill my heart. And so there's a place for that too. And it's like, well, I don't know yet how this all comes together and where, where my true passion lies. So a big part of my piece is sorting that out so that I know and so that I can pour my whole heart into that laser focus that Alexandra was talking about.
Mm. Yeah, that's really good. I feel like I resonate with that too, kind of having different desires. And like for me, like you mentioned IT, for me it's accounting, but I also enjoy like coaching, and kind of like finding a way to combine the two and not being sure, how it's all going to come together, but just kind of trusting that it will. Um, and also definitely for me, like I feel called to kind of continue to do like the mirror work, like around uh expanding unionism, like just in my own physical life, kind of like seeing, because like for me, I tend to be very inner. Um And I've had this desire to be more like social and, get out more, be seen more. So kind of, I guess like practicing it in my own life so that when we do have the physical church, it just kind of comes naturally. But yeah, like seeing God in all things and all people around me and not just in my inner space. So basically like just coming out of my shell. Sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, and getting to see how, how beautiful you are, how beautiful every single one of us is when we step into that natural, authentic self in front of people and with people.
Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. Yeah. So how are you feeling about the discussion? Any other insights and takeaways?
No, I just really enjoy this. It's been beautiful discussion and lots of awesome insights. And I don't know, I could talk about the physical space all day.
Yeah. Same. Awesome. Well, that feels complete for me. Oh, I forgot to ask you, did you have a tea? Did you bring a tea or drink?
Good. Orange spice.
Ah, nice. Very nice. I've got my coffee today, although I probably should have had tea because I'm feeling a little under the weather, so tea probably would have been better, but yeah,
Yeah.
great. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jenny, for joining today's discussion. For those who have joined us live, thank you as well. If you are joining from our Facebook, I do encourage you to tune in to our YouTube page at the Church of Union. That is where you'll find all of our previous discussions and a lot of other juicy content. And thank you all again, and we will see you next time. Bye.